The following podcast is brought to you by Iconic Nation Media. Welcome to Season 5 of Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Levy. I'm here to guide you on a journey of personal growth and fulfillment. Join me as we delve into the challenges of both business and personal life, aiming to discover our true selves and connect more deeply with the world around us. On this podcast, we'll explore the topics that inspire and empower us to become the best version of ourselves. From book reviews to interviews with iconic individuals, we'll have insightful conversations that resonate with your journey. And a big thank you to our sponsors, the Boys and Girls Club of America, Greater Conejo Valley, and Levy's Deli for supporting the show and helping us bring these valuable discussions to you. Please share, rate, and review the podcast. And thank you so much for listening. You can also leave your comments at Kimberly Levy on social media. Thank you for your feedback and thank you for listening. Hello and welcome back to Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Levy. You guys, today we're just going to be doing a quick little fun catch-up session because I just feel like we need that time together. You know what I'm saying? Today I want to talk to you guys about pivoting, which is a season I'm in and I want to encourage you guys to be in, and just overall living life, you know, doing the thing, doing it right, doing it in a way that makes you feel alive. And with that, we're just going to enjoy each other. Let's go. All right, you guys. So I feel like most of our catch-ups have been through my podcast with Abby, who's my co-host on my other podcast, Welcome to the Neighborhood. And I'm sure unless you've been under a rock, you already know about that podcast. But Abby and I have been taking interviews the last couple weeks. And so we haven't really done much of a catch-up, just us, in a minute. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you. So something that has been really like a theme going on that I want to share with you guys that's been really working has been this idea of like pivoting hard and fast. And that's like with pretty much everything in my life. So anything from personal, business, relationships, I don't know, even like the way I'm dressing, my activities, things with my kids, everything. This concept of pivoting transcends absolutely everything. And I feel like this idea of pivoting is something maybe we've touched on lightly, but I don't know that we've really given it the full throttle that it deserves, because I really think this is so powerful. So I'm here to encourage you guys to start pivoting in your life across the board, hard and fast. And it's something that is almost like a muscle, and I feel like I have gotten incredibly good at it. And what's scary about this is like it requires change, and so it requires you to be really brave. And so when we think about pivoting, I just think like if something is not working in your life, like it literally could be absolutely anything. It could be anything in your life that's just not working for you. I think the faster you can recognize it and like rip off the Band-Aid and pivot, then do it. And if you're like me, you love routine. And I know that a lot of us get stuck in our routines and things, but it really takes somebody to like be super brave and bold to be like pivot, like hard and fast. And I feel like I've kind of gotten more comfortable with this, but it's something I've been doing like way more frequently. And like, it's just something that I think is so underrated and so important. So as we are approaching the summer months, I would love for you, I want to encourage you guys to pivot hard and fast as many ways as possible. Like really like think of it like weaving inside and out a lane or something like that, where you really like are toggling between things. And the reason why I think this is so important is because we're not living our life to its fullest if we're not doing this constantly. And, you know, I'm hearing so many people say to me like, you know, oh, I'm too embarrassed to do this, or like, you're so brave to do that. And I'm like, dude, I'm living, you know, I'm trying to live here, folks. Right. So like reinventing yourself or changing your mind to me is something you should embrace and be proud of. Like one day maybe you can feel one way politically, and then maybe you have a conversation and maybe your eyes totally open up and you change your mind. And I was actually listening to Gary Vee, and he was like, I love changing my mind. Like, it's awesome. And so you can think of it, when you think of pivoting, you can also think of it like changing your mind. So maybe you've been doing a certain workout and then you like realize like, okay, I actually hate this. So change your mind, do something different the next day and just totally start a new routine. And for me, like, I started golfing because it was something on my exceptional life plan from like COVID, and I hadn't started it, and it's something I'm wanting to do. And instead of like going to one driving range, I tried another one, right? Like pivot. And like it feels kind of uncomfortable, but it's like if you just, I think what it is like having the bravery to like try the new thing. And it takes like a little bit of a leap of faith, because it's kind of like one of those things where it's kind of like going to a new restaurant, going to a new city, or trying a new, sport or something with your kids, like doing something that you haven't done before. It's a little bit of a leap of faith because you don't know fully what to expect and like if it's going to work or be okay. But what I really like is like pivoting in small doses so that you can like sample something and like give it a full try and experience it, but without like committing super hard. Like that's a really great way to kind of get comfortable with this concept. So one example is going, when I was going to try golf, we normally golf at Westlake Golf, like driving range, like me and my kids. And like I've never taken lessons there or anything like that, but I'm like, I'm going to try the one near my house with my kids because they've been dying to try it. And I was like a little bit uncomfortable because I didn't know what to expect, but I'm like, I know that this will be fine. So one day I just stopped over there. I walked in, I said, I'd like to sign my kids up for golf lessons. How do I do that? And they're like, call this, professional and she'll get you set up. And we bought a pack of 4 and we tried it there. And like, there was pros and cons, right? Like there were certain things I liked, there were certain things I didn't like. But at the end of the day, it was awesome because I found like a new option and something that could work for us. It's cost effective, it's close by. And, I was able to kind of lean into a new experience and like just without like a massive commitment, just like a pack of like 4 classes. And like that's not a super big, deep, scary commitment, but it does feel scary trying something new, whatever it is. There was another experience I had where me and one of my friends went to, a driving range together, and it was new for her to go there. And I showed her exactly how to do it. And then she was like, oh, like, this is so relaxed. This is so much better. It's just so relaxed and everything. And then she's like, it's just, I get so embarrassed, at this other club. And I'm like, well, then don't practice there. She's like, because everyone is so good there and it's like all men. And, I just like, I would feel so stupid going out there and like not hitting it perfectly. And I'm like, well, then that doesn't feel like a very safe, like comfortable learning environment. Like come here where it's like not pretentious and, just do it differently then. And then when you're ready, you can go back to the fancy place. Right. So it's just stuff like that where she's like, well, it's like, I just feel like everybody's looking at me and judging me. And I said to her, I'm like, I don't give a fuck if anyone's looking at me and judging me. Like, I literally don't care, because who are these people anyway that you're so concerned about, right? And it's like, it's literally people are so concerned with looking bad or looking stupid or feeling stupid. And it's like, if you go out as a beginner with no ego and you don't care that you're trying and you're not great, but like you're out there trying, like that is the only way you're going to improve. And it's like this mentality that I think is so common with so many people that I know is like, people are so concerned with how they look or how other people might judge them or think of them or whatever, say about them, that they literally just don't even go out and try what they've been wanting to do. And I'm like in this season, you guys, where I'm like, you know what? People in my family are sick. People I know are getting sick. People are dying that I know. And that's just the hard reality. I don't know if it's because I'm getting a little bit older and that's just the season now that, comes with the territory. Maybe that's part of it. But like, at the end of the day, it's teaching me like, go out and live, go do stuff, like go rip off the band-aid and go make the best use of your time. And like there will be a day where you don't have the time and energy or capacity or ability for whatever reason to go do what you really want to be doing. So go do it. So I've been really in this season and I've been pivoting and trying different things. And, so golf is something that I started picking up. It was the funniest thing. Like I picked up Brian's hand-me-down golf clubs or whatever, and just like they're hideous. It's in like they're in this disgusting bag, and I'm like, okay, I need to go get myself like up to snuff so that I feel cute and not gross. And it's hard. And it's so funny though too, because I'm like, okay, it's scaring me that my tennis game is looking better than my golf game right now. Like that's where we're at with golf. So I'm just letting you know. So if I can go out there and make a fool of myself, so to speak, you definitely can too. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing this with the kids. Like I'm putting them in different activities based on what they say that they're interested in. And, we're going to try different types of classes over the summer. What was really cool was last summer I was working so much and the kids got really overscheduled in camps. And they said to me like 2/3 of the way through the summer, they're like, we need a break. There's too many camps. And like these camps, you guys know, they're very expensive. Like if you have kids, these camps are not cheap. So it's frustrating to hear the kids like complaining about that, right? But in their defense, they're right. Like every single day was booked in camps because I was working like really, in an office and everything. And so anyway, so this summer, I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do that. And so this summer they're in camps for maybe, let's just call it, I think it's like if there's, let's just pretend there's 12 weeks, they're probably scheduled in camps for like 80% or 75% of the time. Maybe it's more like 75%. And I made sure to leave some wiggle room and just, explore things. And so part of me was also thinking like, well, what would be something super fun I could do with the kids if I have the time? And one thing I thought of was horseback riding. And I'm like, oh, that would be so fun. So that's something that I'm looking forward to scheduling. And I put out a note on a Facebook group, like a local mom's Facebook group, asking like where and how I can get that scheduled. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. And I didn't say anything to anybody about it. In fact, I'm just sharing it with you guys. And all of a sudden, Charlotte says, oh, I'd love to go horseback riding. Like, I think that'd be so fun. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let's do it. So it's just little things like that, like things that I want to be doing with my kids or, different things for myself, with myself, whatever, that I'm getting really excited. Like it's energizing to try something that's different and a little scary. And I just want to remind everyone that you cannot get stuck in this, like, what people think of you. You cannot live your life that way, you guys. I'm telling you right now, it is no way to live. And I don't care who they is, like, it's not important. You need to go out and just go live your best life. That doesn't mean you have to like go take the most expensive trips and do dramatic things. Like what I'm talking about is like not even really that crazy of stuff. But to me, in my mind, it's stuff that I've like built up, and you know how you'll like be dreaming of doing something for so long that it's like built up in your head? Well, like start doing it. So yeah. So I think that's been like a really great kind of last couple months has been this season of like just trying different things. And like, if it doesn't work, pivot. Like this, by the way, this goes, if you're an entrepreneur, you try different things and you get feedback, you iterate. So like you might put out an offer and maybe people don't like it, or you get feedback, or they don't like your branding, or whatever the case may be, and you pivot. So there's just so many examples of kind of recognizing like, okay, oh, this is a good tip. One thing you can do, especially if it is like more of a financial obligation, is what I would recommend if you're kind of like, okay, how do I like start trying different things either in my business or my personal life? Like one thing that I would say that is helpful is give yourself sort of like a runway. So for example, like, okay, I want to launch a business. Okay, I'm going to give it 6 months to a year. And like specifically, I'm going to sublease this office and spend X amount in my budget for, 4 months. And if I'm still like not making any revenue and it's not paying for itself, then I'm making sure that it's like a calculated and strategic choice as to how I'm taking these risks, so that if you are taking on risk, like it's very measured and calculated, so that it's not like, oh my God, it's going to bury me type thing. Like, try it for 4 months. If if you're leasing a place and it doesn't work, then make sure it's month to month, and then you exit. You know what I mean? Like, so the idea is that once the risks get a little bit bigger, or like say you have like a personal trainer, something where it's like more of a financial commitment to do something, my recommendation on that front, because I've kind of been doing this, I've been doing like big and small types of pivots and risks and all that kind of stuff, and really trying on all different types of things in different directions and just really playing around and enjoying. And I think if there is more of like a bigger type risk or change that, or pivot or whatever, something, then one of the best things I can offer you is like, make sure it's very calculated and strategic, so that when you're doing it, you're like playing within a boundary that you've set for yourself. So I guess an example in business would be like, okay, I have $10,000 that I have saved up and I want to launch this business, and I'm going to give myself 6 months, and I'm going to allow, of that 10,000, I'm going to allow 1,000 of it to go to like rent a place. Let's just say, I'm just making up numbers, by the way, right? So I'm just giving you guys examples. So like, I'm going to give it 4 months. So like $4,000 on rent, and then $6,000 for like ABC operations. And if it's not working in that time frame, then I'll pivot, right? And it's not a failure. If you try something that you've been dreaming about and it doesn't work out for ABC reasons, like, then you tweak your direction, or you decide not to do that business. Maybe you start a different one. Maybe you try a different job. Like, so this concept of just, go out there and play a little bit, right? Like, don't be afraid to take some calculated, measured risk. And it feels really scary when you're doing it, especially at first, because it's so uncomfortable. And you might even have people being like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Like, that's a waste of money, or that's a waste of time, or whatever. But like, the reality is, like, it's all about you kind of like turning over rocks and like being brave enough to just like explore different things that are of interest to you. Like, maybe you have always wanted to get into horseback riding. Like, where is there a class? Oh, one of my friends, she started taking a hip hop class, an adult hip hop class, if I could say it. And she was like, you guys, like, this is one of the most invigorating experiences. Like, I love it. I go out there, I shake it. It's dark. There's people there that like should not be there. And like, nobody cares. Nobody's judging each other. Like, everyone's just like, feeling themselves and setting their soul free. And maybe for you, it's also like networking, right? Maybe it's putting yourself out there. Like, here's another really interesting example of something that I see all the time, which is like, you'd be surprised how many people I talk to, and they're like now and again, I'll be like, oh, you should totally come on my podcast. Like, I'd love to hear more about your story, or like, about your business, or about your experience and whatever. Or like, hey, I love this topic that you and I always like connect on. Like, let's talk about it on a podcast. People get so excited. And I've heard this so many times where they're like, oh my God, I've always wanted to be on a podcast. And like, they're too afraid, right? So that is something that, I guess, speaking of that, I guess I wasn't really planning on speaking about this, but I've had an overwhelming amount of people approach me about starting a podcast. And so I think what I'm going to do is extend to you guys an offer around, just if you are looking to launch a podcast, I think what I will be doing is creating a package where you can come to me and I can help kick off and launch a podcast. And initially, I didn't want to do this. And I kind of wanted to work with more seasoned podcasters, which really is more of my focus. But I guess I'm just going to put it out there. There will probably be a course coming around this as well that will be a lower cost. But if you are somebody that's like, I've always wanted to launch a podcast, I just have no idea how to do it. I don't know the equipment involved. I don't know any of the steps. If you would like to consult with me, DM me at Kimberly Lovey on Instagram and we can connect. And you can also email me, Kimberly@iconicnationmedia.com, and send me a note, and we can kind of pull together a plan for you to talk about what that podcast would look like, how much it would cost. And then for those of you that think more of like a course would be good, I was thinking of making it like 4 to 6 modules, and just really breaking down step by step exactly how to go about launching your podcast. And, part of that discussion goes back to a podcast that I had published a couple weeks ago, which was like, should you start a podcast? And one of my things that I will say is that I think a podcast is great if you're going to use it to warm up an audience to maybe sell them something. So if you have a business that you want more visibility or even credibility around, a podcast could really make sense for you. And I have a very clear understanding of kind of how that business model and how to leverage a podcast in your business so that you can really connect the dots between, say, today's business and how a podcast would kind of like work together to support an existing business that you have. So that's something I get really excited. I love those discussions and I have them all the time with people. So if that is you, if you are a business owner and you're like, I think a podcast could be great for my business, and you just want to talk to me about it, reach out. And I definitely think that it would be interesting. And maybe that's your pivot. Maybe that's your example of like, I really want to get something done this year that I've never done and I've always been too scared. Like that would be an amazing kind of undertaking for you to consider. So yeah, I guess with that, we're basically 6 months through the year. We're at kind of, halfway through the year. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of encouragement to revisit your goals for the year. Maybe it's something physical, maybe it's mindset wise, maybe it's money wise, whatever your thing or couple things were that you wanted to work on this year, get done. Friendly reminder, this is kind of your halfway mark in the year and it's a great time. Today is a great day to start. And I really want to push you to go start whatever that next thing is that you've been like itching to try. Like, I'm really hoping that at least one of you comes away from this podcast episode saying, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go for it. YOLO, baby. So that's what I really wanted to leave you with today. Just quick and dirty. Apologies. The podcast was late this week. We had all kinds of things going on with end of school, etc. But I did not want to miss it this week because I've been publishing a podcast every single week since January. That was one of my goals. And I really appreciate you guys listening. And please, if you enjoy this, can you please share it? This is not really a money-making endeavor for me, and I would love, love, love to continue to grow the podcast. So if you could rate the podcast, give a comment, a review, and a lot of you say you don't know how to review a podcast. So what you would do, I'm just going to quickly talk you through this real quick because I've heard a lot of people say this. Okay. You're either probably consuming your podcast on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. So I'm going to quickly show you both. If you want to figure out how to rate the podcast, go to your podcast app, search for the show. So let's just say Level Up with Kimberly Lovey. Okay. And it will pop up. And click on it, and there are 3 buttons to the 3 dots on the top right, and you can just go to show is probably the best thing to do. So you see all of the episodes and you scroll to the bottom and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of episodes and it says ratings and review and tap to rate. So you can just do that by selecting hopefully 5 stars, and right underneath is write a review. So you can say, been listening to this, whatever, hopefully it's good. Please don't leave it if it's not good. If you don't like it, just move on because it's a lot of work to produce this podcast. And I really don't want to hear, negative stuff. If you have valid, honest feedback, like, oh, I like it better when she does blank, I would love to hear that feedback, but maybe not in the form of a rating. Maybe you can just send me a note about it. And I absolutely want to listen to that feedback. So on Spotify, what you do is you open up the app. Then you go to the 3 buttons. So you go to the show, go to the 3 buttons. So it'll say like following. By the way, if you're not following, please do. Then the 3 dots to the right, and it says rate show. And you simply do it that way and you're set. All right. So Thank you guys for listening. I hope this was sort of a little just shot in the arm, a quick one, and I just wanted to let you guys know where I'm at. We're looking forward to an amazing summer. Carter and Charlotte they've been at science camp. They're going to go to their camp at their school, and they're going to do a little bit of like academics before each day. And that's great. We're really doing that because Brian needs to get to work earlier than the 9 a.m. start time. So we signed them up for some academic review stuff, maybe keep them sharp for the summer. And let's see, we got Disneyland coming up next week for my nephew's birthday. So that's going to be fun. And then Cabo for my 40th birthday. So looking forward to all the goodness. And I hope you guys are having a great summer. And I hope that you get to go do some fun stuff with your family. And just keep me posted. Where are you guys going? What are you doing? Let me know. I want to hear. All right. So with that, I'll talk to you soon. We'll talk next week. Thank you for listening and have a great day. All right. That is it for today. Thank you very much for listening, and be sure to follow us at Iconic Nation Media and send us a direct message and comment on some of our posts so that we can hear your feedback and incorporate them into our show. We appreciate you listening, and we look forward to catching you next week.